What's up, friends? Welcome into Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com and ESPN Kansas City. I am not Sean Kellerman. I am, in fact, Daniel Courtwright. Sean Kellerman is out for today, but don't you worry. We got a packed show for you. Going to open up the show, talking a little transfer portal talk. Kansas has another player enter the transfer portal. Didn't do a lot, but it is interesting, kind of his path here to Kansas and potentially where he might go next. Obviously, I'm talking about Corbin Allen entered the transfer portal. Also, I'm going to talk a little bit about some other guys who maybe have come to the forefront for Kansas basketball, maybe some potential guys who they're trying to get on campus, they're in contact with along those lines. Going to open up the show with that. Also, we got to hear for the first time this spring Isaiah Marshall, one of the two presumed quarterbacks. I'm going to say presumed because, Chase Jenkins is still there, Jalen Mason's there, Braylon Rooney's there. They got some quarterbacks in there, but more than likely it's a two-man race for the Kansas quarterback room. Cole Ballard and Isaiah Marshall. We haven't been able to get Isaiah Marshall. He's been having class during the press conferences, so we finally got him today. Going to play that for you today. I thought that was going to be urgent. Had a lot of good stuff in there from Isaiah Marshall. So we're going to hear from Isaiah Marshall in the opening segment. In the second segment of today's show, going to hear from Buffalo transfer wide receiver Najee Cox, as he was made available to the media yesterday. Also, we're going to have Shreyas Laddha from the Kansas City Star come on the show, talking all things Kansas basketball, transfer portal, Bryson Tiller talk, Keanu Dawes talk, maybe some other guys that he likes, Kansas football talk as well. So actually scratch Najee Cox. We're actually going to move him to the third segment of this show. And then in the fourth segment of the show, ding, 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 it's the sports stock market. And I'm actually going to bring on a very special guest for the sports stock market, Caden Letsche from the University Daily Kansan, formerly of Sports Illustrated, formerly of our old radio station as well. Caden and I go way back. He's actually going to close out the show with me as a guest host. So really excited for Caden Letsche to come on today's show, helping me out with all things sports stock market, Kansas baseball talk, KU basketball, football, whatever you may want to hear about. Caden Letsche will be the guy, and nice to get a little bit different perspective on it from a guy who's actually on campus and goes to class with some of these guys. Like I said, do a little KU baseball talk with Caden after the sports stock market, and then after that, we're going to hear from Nik McMillan and Terrance Samuel. Nik McMillan is a transfer from Buffalo. Actually, I said Najee Cox transfer from Buffalo. Najee Cox transferred from Middle Tennessee State. Nik McMillan transferred from Buffalo, and then Terrance Samuel is the wide receivers coach for the University of Kansas. Wanted to get into some transfer portal talk as of right now. But first, I want to tell you about Crown Automotive over in my neck of the woods, as Sean likes to say. Crown Automotive, they have a whole line of new and used vehicles. They have new Toyota Tacomas, Tundras, Camrys, 4Runners. What are some other ones? Corollas. There we go. That's another Toyota car. They also have Volkswagens as well. Brand new Volkswagens, Jettas, Tiguans, Tauses, you name it. Some of the best vehicles. Bang for your buck, emission-wise, whatever that may be. And if you don't like those, if that's not your jam, I don't know why it wouldn't be, but if it's not, they have a whole line of used cars as well from a number of different brands to get you in the car that fits your lifestyle. So check them out. Crown Automotive here in Lawrence, South Iowa Street. Miles Schneider, by the way, the Lawrence Citizen of the Year, a philanthropist. Yeah, Elijah. He said, wow. Yeah, he's the Lawrence Citizen of the Year. So be sure to check them out, crownautomotive.com or crownmotorsvw.com. Want to start today's show off talking a little transfer portal talk. As you know, Corbin Allen has entered the transfer portal. Corbin Allen, he is a local kid, came from Oak Park High School. His high school coach was actually Sharon Collins, obviously a Kansas legend, right? He was up for the Durrenter Award with Keaton Wagler as well. There's some interesting stuff that kind of went on there. Kansas was looking at both Wagler and Allen, and then, all of a sudden they go with Allen because of the Sharon Collins tie. Also, Oak Park, Ochai Agbaji came from there. It just made sense. Who would have thought that Keaton Wagler would have gone on to be Keaton Wagler and potentially a NBA lottery pick? But, this is just another open spot essentially for Kansas. Corbin Allen was on a scholarship, but he will not be with the Jayhawks this upcoming year. So that now I believe that is up to 8 total spots for Kansas if you include Paul Mbia on the roster. Now, here's the thing with Paul Mbia. He's not entered the transfer portal yet, and Henry Greenstein actually was in on this. He actually mentioned this to us on the show on Wednesday, but he got a hold of his management, his agent, whatever that may be. Essentially, Paul Mbia is, quote, 100% Jayhawks and wants to return to KU basketball, but has not reached a final agreement. His management, Yassine Fila, also said, we are trying to get him the deal that he deserves. He is on emotion. We need to help him understand it's also a business. I have some thoughts on that. But first, I want to talk about Corbin Allen. Obviously, you're losing a kind of a scout team guy. Probably going to look for maybe another like Giangallo type of player to kind of fit into that role. And it's kind of interesting. I was talking about this with some journalists off air today, actually, at spring football practice, is that it's so tough to get a guy like that, and you're not going to get anybody like that early, right? Where everybody who enters the transfer portal, they enter the transfer portal namely for two reasons. Number one, they want more money, or number two, they want more playing time. Nobody's going to commit to Kansas, at least in the month of April, who was averaging 10, 11 points per game at Sam Houston State or whatever. They're not going to come to Kansas and just know for a fact that they're going to be a scout team guy, 12th man off the bench, right? You're not going to get that guy in April. You might get him in August, maybe late July if you're lucky, but you're not going to get a guy like that, right? So Kansas is continuing to work to fill those starting roster spots, hopefully maybe some of the second guys who you're going to see maybe get 15-ish minutes per game, but you're not going to see the guys filling in the roles of a Corbin Allen, of a Samis Calderon, of that type style of player as of right now. It's going to be a hard pitch. Because, like I said, everyone either wants more money or they want more playing time. And if you're going to be the 12th man at Kansas, probably not going to get either, right? That's where the blue blood comes in. That's where I think the pitch comes in. I understand people, Rick Pitino and different people have said this, and we're going to bring Shreyas Laddha on, who I know says blue bloods don't exist anymore. But he's actually in studio right now. But I think that is essentially the pitch. It's like, hey, man, you can stay at Sam Houston State, or you can stay at the Citadel or wherever, or you can come and have Kansas across your chest. We'll throw you, $50,000 or whatever it may be, but you get to play with Kansas across your chest. That's the pitch that you make to some of the back-end guys, like a Samis Calderon, like a Corbin Allen, right? So you're going to get those guys later to kind of fill in those roster spots, fill in the scout team spots. Want to talk about Paul Mbia? I'm just angry about his agents because of the fact, and I get it, right? If you're an agent or you're management of a certain player and you're getting offers for more money somewhere else, you're going to want to take that because that's how you get paid, right? If you're making if your agents or if your guy's making $500,000 a year playing somewhere and he can go somewhere and get $1.5 million, you're going to want him to take that spot because guess what? That triples your pay, right? And them trying to push Paul Mbia out when Paul Mbia has said he is, quote, 100% Jayhawks, they're not working in the best interest of their client, which is Paul Mbia. That is one of the largest, I think, miscarriages of an agent and things that they get. Like, we see that a lot, right? We constantly see that agents push their guys to get into the transfer portal. All of a sudden, they find a fit. Yeah, they make more money, but it's also not a fit that works for them. I think Paul Mbia would be a nice piece for this Kansas front court for the next season, especially because right now we don't have anybody, right? Anton Bonk right now it looks like he's not going to cancel any of his future visits. So, that could potentially be a bad thing for Kansas. I initially thought that maybe Anton Bonk was utilizing those 5 or 6 other visits to potentially use as leverage to get more money out of Kansas. But now there's no indication that he's going to be canceling those. He's going to be visiting those schools. So now Kansas is lower down in the running for a guy like Anton Bonk, who I think would be a nice piece as well. So when you look at the front court, all you have left is Paul Mbia, and his agents are trying their hardest to push him to go into the transfer portal. Again, I understand it is a business. They said we need to help him understand that this is also a business, but it also is a business of emotion, right? That's what sports is. And if he wants to stay at Kansas, he's 100% Jayhawks, as he said, then let the kid stay. I understand you're not going to get your 10% kickback as much as it would be if you would go to NC State or Providence or somewhere else, somebody else who's willing to pay him X amount of money. But if he wants to stay at Kansas, you need to act in the best interest of your client. It's not just about dollar signs, and I think Paul Mbia understands that. His agents are just kind of trying to get into his ear. So we don't know what's going to happen there. Again, it is interesting. I do have some guys who I understand that Kansas is potentially linked to. A guy that we have not brought up on the show quite yet, who has been kind of all the buzz as of yesterday afternoon. Leroy Blyden Jr. is a guy that I wanted to talk about. Leroy Blyden Jr., he was a freshman last year at Toledo, 6'1", 175 pounds. So he's not very tall, but the kid is a nice shooter, and he's a nice facilitator of the ball as well. Shot 40.7% from the three-point line. That pokes out at you because you need a rise and fire kind of guy. He averages 5.6 three-pointers a game. That's pretty damn good. Assist-wise, tied for 109th in the nation, 4.5 assists per game. So he's not just a rise and fire guy, but he also has really nice court vision as well. He primarily played the one spot at Toledo. You would imagine they'd slide him over to the two spot, let Kenny take over, essentially have the keys to the car for Kansas basketball. So if you're able to get Leroy Blyden in, that essentially takes away some of the facilitating abilities, not abilities, but responsibilities of Leroy Blyden, and you're just going to have him as a solidified, you're sitting in the corner, you're putting up threes, man. That's what you need to do. That's what Kansas needs out of somebody in the portal. Right now, Kansas has one guy in the portal. That's Keanu Dawes. I love the pickup. I think it's going to be a great stretch four. He can shoot the ball really well. He's got nice dribbling moves comparatively to a guy like Flory Badunga, who had zero dribbling moves. He's tougher than Bryson Tiller, and that's not a high bar to get over. So I love that pickup, but Kansas needs shooters. Kansas needs guards. Right now they don't have anybody. They have Tay Kenny. You got Trent Perry, who's going to be okay, but is he going to be an impact guy for next year? We don't know. You're going to need a veteran guy. And look, Leroy Blyden, he was a freshman last year, but he still has a year of experience in college underneath his belt, and I think that he could succeed at the next level. Again, when you're talking about a guy who played at a mid-major level, who shot 40-plus clip from three-point line, your mind probably immediately goes to a guy like Nick Timberlake. Sometimes it doesn't work out, right? But I think when you look at the film on this kid, when you look at the dribble moves, when you look at the way that he's able to facilitate and able to, move around guys who are substantially taller than him as well, I think that that's going to translate into the Big 12. So that's a guy to keep your eye out for. And then Mustafa Sham. He's a guy, obviously, played at Cincinnati last year. This is a guy that a lot of people are super high on, obviously, and apparently there's some reports out there that Kansas is trying really hard to get him on campus. That's per Eric Bossi. Last year for the Bearcats, he wound up 12.8 points per game, 7.1 rebounds per game. He can shoot threes if he needs to. I'm not saying we're not going to bring him Mustafa Sham to be a three-point specialist, right? This is the kind of guy that you need down low. He's 7'2", 250 pounds, nice size, and just completely dominated Kansas when Cincinnati came in to Allen Fieldhouse and embarrassed the Jayhawks. He had 28 points in that game. Yeah, it was on his birthday, whatever, but still. Kid's a really good player. So that's an interesting one to maybe keep your eye out for. So anything in terms of the transfer portal, we're going to keep you up to date on. Those are the two main ones that have been kind of floating around. Storylines throughout the Kansas fans and throughout the Kansas journalism department that we've seen as of right now. But big news from today, Corbin Allen enters the transfer portal. Going to need a guy to pick him up. Some other guys maybe to look out for. Hey, wanted to get to this because I thought we should play this on today's show. I was going to save it for Monday whenever Sean gets back, but I thought this was important to play for today. I'm going to actually flip it over to Kansas football as Isaiah Marshall was made available to the media today. Obviously, that's the big story surrounding Kansas football is who is going to be that number one guy? Who is going to be the starting quarterback for next year? Is it going to be Cole Ballard or is it going to be Isaiah Marshall? We saw Cole Ballard take snaps with the ones all throughout the spring, especially during the spring showcase, quote-unquote, open practice out at Lawrence High School. But Isaiah Marshall, I think when you look at what he's done, and you can see this whenever you see maybe some videos of him throwing out there at spring ball, his throwing motion's a lot better. His throwing motion wasn't great when he came in, but that's really not the kind of style of quarterback that he is. He was more of a kind of he'd be a triple threat, like he'd be Army's dream quarterback, right? Or back in the day, I guess, Army, Navy, one of the service academies. Because he's such a good runner laterally, he can get outside of the tackles and make guys miss, right? He's really agile, really fast. The one thing that he needed to work on was his throwing motion, and he has gotten it down. And I think that now this is probably more of a race than maybe what we initially thought. I still think Cole Ballard maybe has a step up just because of the fact that he's been here at Kansas, started in a few games, was thrown to the Wolves as a freshman. He's ice cold under pressure. But Isaiah Marshall, in terms of talent-wise, if he is able to get his arm up to the level that Cole Ballard is, there's a real shot that he can be that number one guy. So I want to hear from Isaiah Marshall. Let's go ahead and play that right now as he was made available to the media today.
What's your perspective on the quarterback battle?
I know I'm just coming in trying to compete every day, just trying to focus on myself and trying to get better every single day. I'm trying to get 1% better each day, so that's what I'm doing right now.
What aspects of your game do you feel like you're getting better at?
I would say just my drop backs, just staying more calm in the backfield, making better decisions, and just being a better quarterback overall, trying to get the guys around me to come all together in one. So,
when the coaches met with you at the end of last season, what did they say to you?
They just said it's going to be a competition and we're just going to compete. So,
and what areas of your game were they looking for you to most improve on?
Just being more of a leader and being more consistent, just trying to demand the huddle more. So,
gotcha.
Have you kind of seen growth in yourself in that area?
Yes, sir, I have.
How was the spring overall? I know you talked about some of the things you're working on, but how now that it's coming to an end, how would you assess the way that it went for you overall?
I think it went good for me. I think we have a lot of good new guys that I got to work with, and we're just getting better every single day. So that's really all it is.
Which of the new receivers stand out to you?
All of them. I would say Nik McMillan for sure, Najee, those guys for sure. So.
Why those two?
Nik make plays when plays need to be made. Great route running. Najee's a big target, so if I put it like anywhere, he's gonna go and grab the ball. So, and I trust him. So.
How quick does that trust come?
I think it comes in the off season. We throw about 2 times a week every single week since January. So I think just doing that every single week kind of build trust, and that's helping a lot. So we got to continue to keep doing that.
What has Chase kind of added to your quarterback room?
No, yeah, I think Chase is a great player. He adds the explosiveness. We all kind of play alike, kind of. So I would say just explosiveness. He can throw the ball good too. So, yeah.
With Coach K coming back, what's that been like from your perspective?
It's been very exciting. I think it's been fun with Coach K. He's very smart. I think he's one of the best in the whole game. So him coming back definitely adds a lot for our whole offense.
In what ways maybe does he challenge you, I guess, this
I would say challenge me wise just with my cadence, and he added more cadence variations in, so we been working on that a lot, and just little stuff like that, just the small things.
Is he pretty involved with you guys?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's very involved. I talk to him all the time, so he's very involved.
Having Coach Dabrowski be more focused on the quarterback room now than he was last year, what's that like?
It's good. I mean, he's always been focused on us, so but it's still good. But he's always been focused on us since I've been here. So
since you arrived in Kansas, what's the biggest growth you've seen in your game?
I would say, I would say being a leader. Yeah, say being more vocal. Yeah.
What goes into developing as a leader? Is it just forcing yourself to talk more? Is it just kind of trying to be more confident? Just what comes with that?
I'll say being more confident and, of course, trying to talk more, not caring what they feel about after you confront them or demand them, because at the end of the day, they all going to still be cool with you. So just knowing what's best for them and knowing what's best for the team in the moment.
You and Cole have been together in the program for a long time now. What's your guys' relationship like, especially now this spring, knowing that you're competing for that starting job?
I think our relationship is good. We talk off the field a lot. We always hang out off the field too. So me and Cole's relationship is good. And, it's always a battle and we're always competing, but we're competing with love. So
how much of what you guys talk about is football versus just
hanging out, being friends, being teammates?
I'll be honest, I think we talk about more friends and hanging off the field more than anything. Like in the locker room we do, sometimes on the field, off the field, we text a lot. So I think it's more off the field stuff too, yeah.
Gotcha.
Do you compete off the field though?
Yeah, like such as like if we go play some basketball or something, we'll definitely compete, still take it seriously on that. So, yeah.
Who's a better basketball player?
I have to say me. I have to say me, yeah, I have to say me.
Funny one, what's your KU football starting five for basketball?
On the basketball?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it's some new guys, so I don't know who all can hoop yet.
Yeah.
I would say Coulter McDaniel at the 1. Tate Nagy at the 2. I'm going to go with a small lineup here.
Okay.
Me at the 3.
Okay.
Cole at the 4. And Israel Moses at the 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Kansas fans, Coach Bill Self here, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
This is SSJ. Winter in Kansas City doesn't mean your lawn takes a break. It means smart homeowners get a head start. Let David and his crew from Custom Lawn and Landscape prepare your yard for a greener, healthier spring with winter fertilization, soil conditioning, and pre-emergent treatments that stop weeds before they start. Because when the snow melts, you don't want to start fixing your lawn. You want to already be winning. Trust Custom Lawn and Landscape, treating your yard now so it looks incredible later. Visit CustomLawn.com to schedule your winter services today.
Together, we're elevating our potential, our pride, our traditions, and our dreams. Together, we're opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
Listen up, guys. Summer is coming, and there's no better time than right now to ignite your health and feel your best. Whether you're chasing peak performance, trying to reignite intimacy, or simply want to feel your best, Game Day Men's Health Lawrence is your calling. Situated in a plush man cave setting, their services for testosterone replacement therapy, ED, vitamin therapy, and weight loss are sure to give you the boost you need. Make an online appointment today by searching for Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. Step up your game in 2026 with Game Day.
Jayhawk fans, if you haven't started to follow Kansas Nation on social, now is the time. Facebook, Instagram, X, it's Kansas Nation, and online at kansasnation.com for the latest news and information on your Kansas Jayhawks. Interviews, news conferences, daily and weekly shows, podcasts. Find it all at Kansas Nation and kansasnation.com.
Welcome back into Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com and ESPN Kansas City. Going to bring on a very special guest, Shreyas Laddha. But before we bring on Shreyas, I want to tell you about Central Bank. With Jayhawk checking from Central Bank, Jayhawk fans can carry their pride wherever they go with the official Jayhawk debit card, a simple way to show school spirit every day. Central Bank is proud to support the traditions and communities that bring people together. As a proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas, Central Bank is committed to serving Jayhawk fans with banking options designed for real life, on campus, at work, and everywhere in between. Learn more about Jayhawk checking and the exclusive debit card from jayhawkchecking.com. That's jayhawkchecking.com. Central Bank, the proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas, member FDIC. Shreyas from the Kansas City Star. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I feel we just saw each other, obviously, at the KU football building. We can get into some KU football talk in just a little bit. We were talking about this off air, and Sean, I want to talk to you about Bryson Tiller. So Sean yesterday said he wasn't going to say anything about it because he was that mad. And I'm also mad, but also like I felt like I needed to get some things off my chest. You are an unbiased journalist.
Yes.
Right? Except for when it comes to Georgia and also the Boston Celtics.
Yes.
And the New England Patriots.
Yes.
And trust me, I cannot stand it when you talk about either of those teams. But In terms of Bryson Tiller leaving for Mizzou, I guess it didn't come to a shock to anybody that he entered the transfer portal, especially after the Houston game, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe the TCU game was starting the first inkling that you felt him leaving, but the Houston game definitely was not good. And then obviously you had the St. John's game where he was not good in that one whatsoever. Cal Baptist still wasn't very good, and then you kind of felt like this was happening. But him going to Mizzou is such a cardinal sin in terms of being a Kansas fan. Just your reaction to when that happened, how did this come about? What your thoughts on just Bryson Tiller going to Missouri?
Well, I think it's insane, first of all.
Yeah.
A little bit in the sense of, I can't believe he went to Missouri of all places. I think it would have been better for him to go to K-State than go to Missouri.
Yeah.
Candidly. I think the K-State-Kansas rivalry feels a lot less threatening online from what I've gathered on 3.5 years on the beat. Missouri fans, anytime I have them in my mentions, I don't particularly enjoy it. And I don't really particularly enjoy Kansas fans arguing with Missouri fans by mention because then they get a little racist, and I don't really like
Absolutely. Well, Missouri fans, and I'll say that they're objectively, every single one of them is a bad person. I'll say that.
I don't think I want to go that far.
Oh, I will.
But, I think it was kind of insane. Like I said, I've done a lot of reporting on Bryson Tiller. I knew he was entering the portal since the season ended. I was just wondering when he would enter the portal.
Sure.
The last month for him was a disaster. He told me he was shocked when he got benched in the second half of the Houston game. I was told behind the scenes the staff was really kind of hard on him because he wasn't physical enough. He wasn't aggressive enough. So I was just wondering when, to be honest. And he entered the portal, and I saw the list of schools: Arizona, Missouri, Miami, and then I think there was a fourth school that I'm forgetting, maybe St. John's or something.
I think St. John's was in on everybody.
No, yeah.
So maybe it was St. John's.
And when he canceled, I knew about the Missouri visit from a source, and I obviously reported that. And the source I had talked to went quiet. So I was like, okay, I think something good must have happened on this visit because they're not talking to me about it right now. And the day before he announces, I get a text like, hey, Bryson Tiller's coming to Missouri. And I just sat there for 5 minutes thinking about, oh my God, social media is going to be a mess tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I just can't believe it. I was told that they weren't super sure if they were going to get him or not. And then the donors came out of nowhere and kind of ponied up the money. And when he canceled the visit to Arizona, I was like, well, I think he's going to Missouri because I don't know if he'd visit Miami at that point. If he did at all.
I think he was planning on it.
Yeah. So I was like, well, logically speaking, it looks like he's going to Missouri, even if I didn't have somebody telling me. But I had a few different people reach out, hey, just give me the heads up. I was like, okay, don't love that. I think it's nuts. I think, I understand why Kansas fans are mad. I got yelled at about this on the Payee podcast I did yesterday. I was not harsh enough on Bryson Tiller going to Missouri. So I apologize to Kansas fans that watch the Payheed podcast.
It's fine. I was really mean yesterday, and I feel like I wasn't mean enough.
Yeah, I see. This is the thing. I think for me, I don't quite get it because I'm not a Kansas fan, but I also get it,
Sure.
I'm a Georgia fan. I would be mad if Florida got one of the Georgia players.
Right, exactly.
But I don't think I'd be that mad about it where
imagine if Anthony Edwards transferred to Florida.
Yeah, I'd be pissed.
Well, and granted, Bryson Tiller is not Anthony Edwards.
I'd be very pissed. I'd be very pissed. But
of course.
I said the same thing to Nick yesterday. I think people say that they wouldn't take Missouri players. What if the Jason Crow dude or whatever his name is, who's the #1 overall recruit in their class, was like, I'm entering the portal, and he comes to Kansas next year. How great would that be for Kansas?
Sure.
That's got to feel great to take a Missouri guy and be like, oh, we got him. He's better. Right? But
just make a trade.
Yeah, kind of, honestly. But
just granted, we got Parker Brown, too, but that's different because you had Christian and his mom.
Clara in between.
Yeah.
And Parker was just a kind of an end of bench guy.
Sure.
But, yeah, I think the Tiller thing is kind of a mess. I think, they are going to have a really fun time when they play Kansas next year. I think Kansas fans should boo heavily. I think they should do everything you can legally do.
Legally, by the way.
To conspire against him when they see Bryson Tiller. Okay? I'm a big fan of hate in sports.
Of course.
I think
what sports without it?
Want positivity. I don't believe in positivity. I believe in positivity in my reporting, but I believe in hate among sports fans. I love when Missouri fans chant the FKU chants. I think it's fantastic. I think it's hilarious. I love when Kansas fans get so mad about it. I'm just sitting there as a 35 hours. I'm like, give me more drama.
Yeah.
So as a fan of drama, I think it's hilarious that Bryson Tiller is a Missouri Tiger.
Sure.
I think Kansas fans should boo him to no heaven, no despair. Absolutely. And I 100% think that him going to Missouri is insane. It's asinine. It's every verb that's you can think of that makes you think of this is ludicrous.
Sure.
It's that.
Yeah.
But that's just modern transfer portal. I guess you wouldn't be super surprised by it. And I think that Kansas fans are going to have a really fun time booing him next year in Kansas City.
Who's met with more boos? Because the Kansas City, and I hate that they did this where they're having neutral site for the last two in it. And so technically it's a Missouri home game, right? Because Kansas was technically a Kansas home game at T-Mobile Center last year. Who's met with more boos? Is it going to be Flory in the exhibition against Louisville, or is it going to be Bryson? Because just the sheer number of – there's probably going to be about half and half KU Missouri fans at T-Mobile Center where at Allen Fieldhouse.
I still think it'd be like 70-30, because remember last time it was like 60-40, 70-30 last
true.
year?
Yeah.
I think Kansas fans just travel better to Kansas City. It's also closer, right? So
yeah, that's true.
I absolutely think Bryson Tiller will get more boos. Flory through and through is a bag chaser. We've talked about this off air.
Yeah.
Like the guy I was told, multiple sources told me upwards of $5 million. Kansas was not going to play that. Did you see his TikTok story?
I did.
Oh my God.
Oh, I did.
I don't know
in
if
case
he's
anybody
actually taking shots. Yeah.
In case anybody who didn't see it, Flory posted a video of him and Bryson, and he said, "At least I'm not a rat," and then tagged Bryson in it.
So the video was from like Arrowhead City Edits or whatever, some TikTok edit for this thing, and it was like doing the Morgan Freeman, I think it was Shawshank Redemption, I was like, snitches and rats are two different things. Blah, blah,
the difference between a snitch and a rat.
Yeah. And I was just like, first of all, bro, I don't think you can do that. You just chased an absolute bag at Louisville, cancel your Duke visit. I don't really understand how you can have Kansas pride when you're not in Kansas anymore. But I don't know if he was joking or if he was actually serious or some level of
I'm sure he was joking. He's got a weird sense of humor. I don't know. I never really understood it. He was just weird in press conferences and trying to be funny.
It was funny, but he was trying too hard at times. I enjoyed talking to him one-on-one more. I did not like when he towel whipped me, though. He was towel whipping.
Towel whipped you?
He was towel
Flory?
whipping. Yeah, other Kansas players, and they hit the hell out of my leg, man. I was like, "Can you stop?" I'm trying to do an interview with freaking Bryson Tiller.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer.
Absolutely. I just got third-degree towel whippers. But look, I think the Flory was complete bag chase. Nothing more, nothing less.
100%.
I don't think he's going to make that much next year, even if he went to the NBA. The money if he went to the second round of the NBA draft is significantly less than he's being paid at Louisville, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
I think if you were a Kansas fan, you should boo both of them heavily. One's a bag chaser, the other one's
a traitor.
A snake,
a rat.
Yeah. They should both be booed heavily, but that's the modern transfer portal for you.
Yeah, 100%. Shreyas Laddha from the Kansas City Star joins the show. Shreyas, want to talk about some good news for Kansas basketball. They got their first guy out of the transfer portal, Keanu Dawes, over from Utah. Nice player, good rebounder. Interesting player, though, because Utah, they had Terrance Brown and they had Keanu Dawes, and then nobody around. I mean, they might as well have had me and Shreyas playing next to him. Not to say that you're a bad basketball player, but I am. No.
I'm not great. We'll have to play some of that.
So he was a really nice player, and he actually, when Kansas played Utah, I thought he was the best big out there, right? And he's an interesting guy because they had him playing at the 5 sometimes, right? So that opens up the post-move bag, but then you saw him shooting some threes. He can play. Honestly, I'm looking at him like a stretch 4, essentially the Bryson Tiller replacement, for lack of a better term. What are your thoughts on Keanu Dawes coming to Kansas?
Well, I think he fits the mold of what Kansas wants from their roster. Bigger, more physical, stronger. He's a great rebounder. I think he does the dirty work down low, I think, around the boards and stuff. For whatever Bryson Tiller was positive, the negatives were he was not physical enough. He was not aggressiveness. I don't think you're going to have that issue with Keanu.
Yeah.
I think he's an experienced guy that you know what you're going to get coming in day one. To be a day one starter at the 4 spot probably. If you get Stokes, you put him at 3. I think that's the right type of guy to start on Terrance Stokes with. And he's a solid, he's not 12 points a game is nothing to sneeze at. That's like Trey White numbers before he came to Kansas. And he shoots like 31% from three, which is better than Tiller did. Ideally, maybe you could get that percentage up a little bit with some better spacing. I like the pickup quite a bit for Kansas. It's like, for me, it's more about fit than just like name value. And they chase fit, and some would say Bryson Tiller is a better name than Dawes. I would disagree with that sentiment. Bryson Tiller might be a potential first-round or lottery pick in a year or two, but Dawes is better for what Kansas is building towards, which is hopefully winning a title for what could be potentially Bill Self's last year.
Well, I said this. I said, as of right now, Keanu Dawes is a better player.
Yeah.
Bryson has a higher ceiling.
Yeah.
For sure, right? He needs to get tougher. Man, that guy was soft. But
he said he wanted to work on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that was a continued thing kind of throughout the season of like, hey, man, when are you going to get tougher?
I'm pretty sure Bill said that.
Yeah.
Like, Bill came out and said that he needs to be tougher down low. And, I mean, like, I heard it was pretty bad behind the scenes after he got benched. He just didn't take it well.
Yeah, for sure. And by the way, I mean, you know this because you were the one who initially told me this. Bryson Tiller like reclassified like 3 times.
Yes.
He's like 21 years old.
He's about to turn 21 in like November, guys. Like he's like only 7 months younger than Keanu Dawes.
Yeah. So exactly. So when you look at the age disparity, like when you look at it, you're like, all right, well, yeah, Bryson had a good freshman year, and Keanu Dawes has been in college basketball for 3 years.
Yeah.
But also, like, they're the same age, like you said. So, yeah, but as of right now, I think Keanu Dawes potentially, I mean, he is the better player as of right now. He's tougher. I think he dribbles better. He's definitely a better shooter just from what we've seen in terms of the stats. I think, like I said, Bryson has a higher ceiling, but I'm going to get Bryson Tiller out of my head. I don't ever want to think about him again until I see him at T-Mobile Center and whatever. It's done. It's over with. What I talked about, just some other guys, interesting guys. We heard that the Kansas staff is trying really hard to get Mustafa Sham on campus. And then another guy, Leroy Blyden from Toledo, 40.7% from the three-point line. That immediately sticks out at you because that's been what we've been talking about. Kansas needs shooters.
Shooting, man. They need shooting.
Yeah.
And especially when a guy like Jake Hall goes back to New Mexico, when I know Kansas was interested in them. Yeah. You want to get shooting as much as possible. I like him. Biden is a really good guy. I know he's the same agent of Keanu Dawes.
Yeah.
So that definitely is something that probably comes into the factor. I like that. Those two potential, if they can get both those guys, I really like that. Because honestly, I'm not trying to be mean here, guys. I watched the Bonk film. I don't know what people are seeing out there. Like,
he's got a nice shot. For a 7'2" guy, he's got a nice,
but this
pretty
is just
shot.
like highlights. If you watch actual games, he's just kind of there, man. He averaged 11 points a game in what league?
Charlotte's are in the Sun Belt?
No, not Atlantic. A10 or Atlantic? No. It's the league Memphis is in and Wichita's in. I'm pretty sure.
Is it the American?
American. They're in the American.
That's
right. The American League, guys. 11 points a game in the American League translates in my rough equation is like 6 to 7 points a game in the Big 12.
Sure.
Okay, he averaged 1.6 a game at Point Providence in the Big East.
Yeah.
Like, I really think if you want a real player, is a much better get. I never really got the Bonk obsession besides he's really tall.
Yeah.
And
well, he's a warm body, and that's what Kansas needs, right?
Yeah, but like, no, it's not about warm body because if that's your starting center, then your 1 through 4 spots better be really good at scoring the ball.
Sure.
Flory averaged 13 a game for Kansas. Next year, he's probably going to average 15 to 17 a game for Louisville. He's not worth the money that he's getting paid, in my opinion. But, you want somebody that can give you maybe what Flory did, 3/4 as good for maybe half or like 1/3 the price. That's ideal.
Yeah.
And I don't think Bonk can give you what Flory did on the offensive end. I think Theon is a much better fit for them. He averaged 13 a game or 12, 13 a game.
Yeah, about 12.8. So
yeah,
13.
like in the Big 12. Like, who you can do that. He's a good rebounder.
We saw it firsthand. We saw him score 28 points in Allen Fieldhouse and just completely take over that game.
Loves picking up players that just absolutely cook them.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I think they did this a few years ago. I want to say they did it with AJ Storer or Nick Timberlake, one of those guys.
Kansas never played Wisconsin.
No.
And I don't think that they played. Did they play Towson?
Was it Relling Griffin they saw?
No, we didn't play Alabama either. I'm trying to think. I know Kansas has definitely picked up a kid.
Yeah, absolutely just cooked them.
Yeah. I'll think of an example. Yeah, no, I agree. But like Kansas fans also, like, there were a lot of guys
that they did the same thing.
They were linked to.
Dawes had 22 and 12 against Kansas.
Exactly. Yeah.
He played.
There are a lot of guys who they've been linked to who, at least in the past 2 years that I've seen, that's like
Keyshawn Hall.
Yeah. I mean, Keyshawn Hall. I was huge on him just because he was really good.
Yeah, he would have been great. He would have been great this past year.
For sure.
But yeah, no, I like both these potential guys. Blyden especially, I think would be a nice fit. But Thiam is the one guy I was like, if you can get him, you absolutely should get him.
Yeah, for sure. And then, kind of on the same note, I know you were talking about Anton Bonk. Paul Mbia still not in the portal, and we heard from Henry who's talked to him, and then also I understand that you've talked to agency as well for Paul Mbia.
Yeah.
And I talked about this a little bit in the open about how they're essentially trying to push him out the door. Like, hey man, I know you love Kansas, but we want you to make more money, and in turn we want you to give us more money, essentially, which I think you need to work in the best interest of your client. If your client really wants to stay at Kansas, then you should do that. But do you think Paul Mbia will be ready in time for this upcoming year to be that number one guy, or do you still think Kansas needs to get a big, obviously for depth-wise, but do you think they need to get a guy who essentially will jump over Paul Mbia, or do you think Paul Mbia could potentially be that guy?
Well, I think Paul's going to take a leap forward, whether he comes to Kansas, he goes back somewhere else. But I do think he's coming back. I mean, I've talked to sources in his camp. I've talked to his agency. I wrote about this Saturday. It's like, there's a belief within his camp that he could make more, 3x more. I don't necessarily believe that. I think it's just them talking and, inflating the value of what Paul is out there. But he really likes Kansas. They said he's fallen deeply in love with Kansas, and he's a loyal guy, and his loyalty can't be bought, and all this other stuff.
It's great.
Fantastic things. I think Paul's going to have a nice step forward. I think he's going to be a nice rotational big for them, maybe backup big. But absolutely, they need a better starting center than Paul Mbia. I just think he's too slow laterally and defensively. He just moves very slow. He's just lumbering big man. And in this day and age, you need a big that can effectively move well laterally, and I don't think Paul Mbia can do that.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I think I just don't think he's ready offensively to contribute what they need. He averaged 1 point a game. I mean, 1.2 points a game or something like that. I'm not trying to be mean. He had 2 really good tournament games, but what have I
came on
seen?
late, very late.
Yeah, literally the last 2 tournament games were his 2 best games of the year. But that coincided with the fact, I've reported this, he started the scout team. He was on the scout team in the last month or so, and that really helped him grow. But yeah, I think they need to pick up more things. I think Paul's going to come back. Obviously, things can rapidly change, so do not hold me accountable for Paul is coming back.
Right.
I do think Paul is coming back.
We'll clip that out and say... Shreyas guaranteed.
But yeah, so I do think he's coming back. I mean, he has until Tuesday, right, to theoretically end of the portal. So they absolutely need to pick up a better starting quality big. And if it's Bonk, then Bonk and him have to battle it out for the starting position.
For sure. Shreyas Laddha from the Kansas City Star. One more thing before I let you get out of here. Wanted to flip it over to football. Spring practice coming to a close. It actually came to a close today. It broke my heart. I'm sure it broke your heart as well.
It was so sad.
I know. Just maybe one takeaway that you took over watching the entirety of spring ball, maybe somebody who surprised you, maybe a storyline that you think is maybe a larger storyline than just the obvious of the quarterback battle, that kind of thing,
Well, Corey Amatri, I can't pronounce his last name.
Amatri,
yeah. The amount of praise he got from everybody.
Yeah.
Somebody said he was they call him Little Saquon.
Ooh.
And
good nickname.
Yeah, right? But the crazy, I wrote a story about this a few days ago. They call him Little Saquon, but his Yasin compared him to CMC to me. Dude, we're getting all pro comparisons to a freshman running back. What is he doing out there? But honestly,
if you get compared to Saquon and Christian McCaffrey, that's the guy that you want.
That's crazy. I heard so many good things about him. And he's built like a freaking truck, man. I was like, I gotta get his routine in the gym. He's built bigger
for yourself, personally.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
KJ Adams for his routine, man. I was like, dude, I need to get my arms as big as you. I don't think I'm gonna get to 240, but we'll try. And but Corey doesn't look like a freshman. They talk about his body and he's this thing. He's a smart kid. He built like an NFL running back, candidly.
Yeah.
So many good things I've heard. It seems like maybe this year he'll be ready to contribute, and next year he'll be the star on the roster. So I'm really excited for him. I didn't really think he'd be that big of a, kind of talking point, but everyone that you talk to him about, whether it's his fellow running backs, to his running back coach, to Leipold, et cetera, they all rave about him. And I think he's a guy that could be somebody really special in the future if they think with the way they've been talking about him.
Well, certainly hope so. And, you got Dylan Edwards back there. You got Yasin Willis back there. Haven't seen Jalen Dupree because he's been dinged up all through spring. So Corey Mockery, there's room for him to potentially get on the field for this upcoming
they think
year.
He's going to be able to ready to contribute. That's what Lance said.
I like it,
which is crazy.
I love it, man. You love to hear that. Shreyas Laddha from the Kansas City Star. Anything you got coming up, man? Any big stories?
Nothing super crazy. I had a story come out today talking a little bit about the KU GM process, and I know I asked Self about it a year and a half ago, 3 months ago. I wrote about that, but I also talked about a little bit about candidates that had reached out to me about wanting to is Kansas have a GM? We'd like to put their name in the hat.
Interesting.
A little bit about that, and then Bill Self successors. Somebody asked a question, and of course the KU quarterback battle, which everyone wants to know.
Yeah, everyone wants to know who's going to be that number one guy. Shreyas, really appreciate you coming on every Friday, man, and have a good weekend.
You too. Thanks, man.
All right. Hey, more coming up after this on Rock Chalk Sports, KansasNation.com, and ESPN Kansas City.
Together, we're elevating our potential, our pride, our traditions, and our dreams. Together, we're opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
APR plus $1,000 customer bonus, or get 0.9% APR on a 2026 Tiguan. Luxury just got a new definition.
Haney and the Hawks is presented by Jefferson's with 2 Lawrence locations, home of the best wings in town. 21 signature sauces. You got to check them out. But if wings aren't your thing, how about a burger? They hand patty their certified Angus beef every single day. Also hand bread their tenders. They make their ranch in-house. There is truly something for everybody at Jefferson's. Go see my buddy Brandon Graham and the entire crew at Jefferson's, either on Mass or Wakarusa in Lawrence, Kansas.
Hi there, Gary Joslin with Joslin's Jewelry. I'm not the class ring company. I'm a mom and pop jewelry store for 42 years. We were recently voted the gold medal #1 jewelry store in the greater Kansas City area by Ingram's Magazine. Come see us at Joslin's Jewelry, 9529 Antioch. Joslin's Jewelry, the jeweler you'll recommend to your friends and family.
Joslin's Jewelry, for the best that's yet to come.
This is SSJ. Winter in Kansas City doesn't mean your lawn takes a break. It means smart homeowners get a head start. Let David and his crew from Custom Lawn and Landscape prepare your yard for a greener, healthier spring with winter fertilization, soil conditioning, and pre-emergent treatments that stop weeds before they start. Because when the snow melts, you don't want to start fixing your lawn. You want to already be winning. Trust Custom Lawn and Landscape, treating your yard now so it looks incredible later. Visit CustomLawn.com to schedule your winter services today.
Welcome back into Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com and ESPN Kansas City. Big shout out to Shreyas Laddha for joining the show. We are going to bring on a very special guest right after we play Najee Cox. It's going to be Caden Letsche to talk a little bit about KU football, and then I'm going to close out the show with Caden. But we got a chance to hear from Kansas transfer wide receiver from Middle Tennessee State, Najee Cox, as he was made available to the media yesterday. Let's hear from Najee Cox.
How's your spring been so far?
It's been good. I've been coming out here working and, putting in the work, working with my teammates and just staying focused, trying to get used to it being out here and stuff like that. So it's been good.
What was it about KU that made it a good choice for you?
I feel like the environment. Coach T-Sam, he texted me on Twitter. He's like, I'm going to come get you. So after that, I was like, shoot, come on. So after that, we got on the phone. He texted me. He called me. He was like, hey, like, you got to come out here and put the work in. I can't promise you nothing, but you got to put the work in. That's all I want, somebody to challenge me. So I feel like that was the most part. And it's the opportunity. I feel like Coach K, like the way his playbook is, like the way he like is a good offensive mind. I feel like that fit my my play style. So I feel like that was just good and it fit.
How would you do the things that Coach Samuel talked to you about when he was recruiting you before you committed here?
Say that again?
What were some of the things that Coach Samuel was talking to you about in the process of before you committed here?
He just called me. He was like, "Hey, I want to get to know you as a person before like you get here. You know, football is a lot of things, but I want to get to learn you as a person before I get you in the building." So we talked on the phone for like 10 minutes. I was on my visit to Michigan State, so I was coming home, and we was in the airport. I was waiting for my flight, and we was on the phone for like 10 minutes, and we was just talking about things I like, what do I don't like, and do I take hard coaching? And I was like, yeah, like that's what I've been getting my whole life. So I feel like that was like the fit right there. Like, hey, like he want to coach me, so that's something I needed. So I needed somebody to come push me and be better every day.
How would you describe your play style and how that'll fit into the offense?
As you can see on my film, I'm explosive, so I feel like this is the deep ball. A lot of people don't know like I'm faster than what I show. So when they see the speed this year, you know, all of us on the field, like we complement each other. Me, Nick, Cam, Tate, Nagy, we all complement each other. So they go sit on the field that we're very explosive, even myself.
How would you describe some of those other guys' styles and what they kind of bring to the table?
Oh man, you got Cam, he like do it all. You got Nick, he do it all. I do it all. You got Tate, he do it all. Spectacular catch, like man, we all do it all. Like I feel like we complement our game because you can't cover all of us at the same time. Even Keaton, he coming back as he's a senior, you know, or a junior. He's coming back. He got a lot of play experience, so he's even a player that can come out there and make some plays. So I feel like all of us, all at once, they can't stop none of us.
With having an ongoing quarterback battle right now, does that prove any difficulties in terms of kind of building chemistry for you guys?
No, I feel like you know, everybody just out there like just working. I feel like we don't care who back there. Like they both some good quarterbacks, and even Chase coming in, like I know he got a lot going on. Like he's just coming here and just, you know, he had to come. He came a little bit late, but I feel like he's a good quarterback. Even the freshman Jalen. So I feel like we all just making each other better. I feel like we just out there making each other better to get where we want to be. And I feel like Zeke and Cole and Chase and Jalen and even we got Braylon out there. They gonna make each other better. So I feel like as long as we like out there running our routes, we don't care who back there.
You mentioned Coach K's offense. I don't know, how exciting is it to get to play in that scheme with the reputation he's shown for creativity and using players in different and exciting ways?
The crazy part is I never knew he was the Penn State OC. Like I didn't know that, but once I like started doing research, I'm like, man, because I was playing NCAA and I'm like, dang, like these plays is crazy. Like I just thought they like they was just created on there or something. Like, but then I got to the playbook, I'm like, dang, we got a lot of motion shifts. A lot of people ever play different spots. Like we're moved around. Like this is the most I've been moved around my whole career. Like I'm playing a lot of slide, I'm playing out the outside, inside, like everything. So I feel like everybody's able to do everything. Like we switching positions, a lot of motions, a lot of triple option. You got Dylan Edwards out there. He running out the receiver. You know, he doing a lot of things too. So I feel like everybody, like he makes everybody better because he uses you at your strengths. You know, I feel like he just putting everybody out there to make plays. Like it's not nobody, just one person getting the ball. Like everybody getting the ball, getting their touches, and I feel like that's his creative offense.
With everything you just described, has that been a lot for you to learn or take in, or how's that been for you?
Oh man, yes. But this is my fourth year of college football, so I feel like I done learned like 3-4 different playbooks. Like it was kind of different. Like my old school at Middle Tennessee, we were more signals, and this is my first year ever in college. Like I got to huddle up and get the whole play call. Like, but this is like something you got to get ready for to get to the NFL. Like this is something that you got to prepare for. So I feel like his offense is something that's preparing me for the next level.
So did you have any perception of Kansas before coming here? Like, did you know KU at all?
Yeah, I used to watch basketball. Like, I used to watch them, like, in basketball. So I used to watch a lot of Devontae Graham, I think it was, Ben McLemore. I used to watch them when I was younger. So, yeah, I used to watch them a lot. And then I think a couple years ago, I turned the TV on. One day, it was because everybody was watching Colorado at a point. And they played Colorado, and Kansas beat them. So I was watching that one day. And then, yeah, so after that, yeah, I kind of been watching them, keeping up with them a little bit.
Will it be fun to have Middle Tennessee on the schedule?
Oh, yeah. They're my boys, but, man, when you come out here, you got to get that work. Man, they're my boys, though. They got a good team out there. You go give them the work, though. They just better be prepared to come out here.
What were you kind of looking for in your next school when you entered the portal?
Just something a little bit more, like, bigger. I feel like I was better than the league that I was playing in. I was kind of under-recruited and everything like that, and which was fine. It made me work harder, but I felt like I just wanted to go somewhere bigger. I wanted to go somewhere that's like I can go out there and show I can play with the best because I know I can. So I feel like that was just something I wanted to do. I didn't have no perception like, oh, I want to go this school, that school. I just wanted to go somewhere that's going to give me an opportunity to go out there and show that I could play with whoever.
what were some of the schools you were looking at outside of Kansas?
I had offers from Michigan State, Oklahoma State, Maryland. So a lot of schools were calling me, checking me, wanted me to come on visits. But I feel like Kansas was like, hey, we need you. Like, you come out here and, like, we ain't going to promise you starting spot. You ain't going to promise you nothing, but you got to come out here and work. So after that show, I was like, man, I got to come here because playing in JUCO, man, you got to work hard. You got to grind. Ain't no scholarships, ain't nothing like that. So I feel like that's what got me, like, where I am today. I had to scratch and crawl and everything to get here. So I feel like that's what made me, like, able to come here and work harder than anybody. So, yeah.
That was Kansas transfer wide receiver Najee Cox addressing the media yesterday. And now I'd like to bring on a very special guest. Friend of the show, you've been on once via Zoom.
Oh, yes, via Zoom.
That's right.
Yeah.
You were at your girlfriend's parents' house, I believe, in Lansing, Kansas. Caden Letsche from the University of Daly, Kansas, also KJHK, Sports Illustrated, a number of different things. We go way back. Appreciate you coming on the show, man. First things first, a lot of KU football talk. Obviously, KU football spring practice came to a close today. Just your overall thoughts maybe on Kansas football program as a whole, and maybe your thoughts on the quarterback position battle.
Well, so currently I'm a senior, and in the last 4 years, I feel like it's been very consistent of who you're going to see out in that field every year. There's been a lot of growth, but like you talked about the quarterback battle, it's going to be very, very weird to see someone other than Jalen Daniels playing at that quarterback spot. And there's a lot of positions. I mean, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end especially, that are going to have to all be filled, and they're going to have to be new. So I think KU is in kind of a middle period of where they're going and if it'll be improvements or if it goes back to what it was.
So your senior year is this year, so you would have seen Andy Kotelnicki at the helm for 2 years. Am I right about this? Okay. So what are your thoughts on Kotelnicki? Because you saw it up close and personal, at least your first 2 years here at Kansas. We all did. But your thoughts on Andy Kotelnicki coming back and just what he can provide for the offense.
Well, I think those first 2 years are just trying to think of the word, but the first 2 years show exactly what he can do to this offense. Those were the best 2 years that we've had in the program, and then this last year hasn't been that much, and so it's kind of been downhill, or I guess I shouldn't say downhill, but with him being back, I think he'll bring another energy level to this game, and I think he'll bring this offense back to what it was.
For sure, yeah. I mean, we're all excited about Andy Kotelnicki. Plus, the guy is just he's a good. I want to grab a beer with him, man.
Yeah.
Like that, he's the most fun dude ever. He comes in, he's just a little ball of energy. Just
See, I've never had a one-on-one conversation with him.
Oh man,
so.
he is something else, man. In the press conferences, you just tell he's an everyday man, and you can just see why a lot of these kids are kind of gravitating towards him. We heard from Najee Cox. Also, we're going to hear from Nik McMillan later in the show. Maybe your thoughts on those two guys, because the wide receiver room was relatively thin. Obviously, you lost Emmanuel Henderson, you lost some other guys, and you had to bring in some guys in Nik McMillan and Najee Cox. Those are two guys who have done it at a lower level. What's your confidence level in terms of those guys being able to do it in the Big 12?
Well, Najee, I think, is kind of up in the air because at the start of last year at Middle Tennessee, he had his best start. Like he had the first half of that year is completely different than the back half, and I think that's what KU's going when they wanted him to transfer over to KU is that first half of the year where he was very consistent. He was a big target, and then on the other side for McMillan's a size guy too, 6'1", I believe.
Yeah.
And over there, and at Buffalo he was a big target there. I think he had 6 or so games of over 100 yards, and I think that he's going to be the number one wide receiver over here. Yeah. So I expect a lot of bright things out of McMillan, more than Najee, but I think Najee can also be another size guy. I think he's 6'3", but for right now, I'm very high on McMillan. I think I watched a lot of games of Buffalo. I don't know. It was always just on the TV for some reason. Or
Those
ESPN
Tuesday night
Plus.
action games. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But he was always very consistent, and that was one thing about his game. And that's what KU kind of lacked is they want a wide receiver that's going to be consistent and that can be explosive, but more on that consistent side that can be a main target and a big target too.
For sure. Well, we certainly hope so. And, with the quarterback battle, it's going to be, they don't know who's going to be throwing them the ball. Essentially, come the fall, could be both of them. But again, I'm against the 2-quarterback system. I'm a fan of if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. Essentially, is kind of the way I think of it.
You said earlier, you said 5? 5 quarterbacks?
Well, there are 5. There are technically 5 quarterbacks on the roster.
You want all 5 throwing.
Hey, don't. Chase Jenkins is there, and Jalen Mason I think has a bright future. Braylon Rooney is present at practice, so that's something nice to see. But we'll certainly see. Caden, you are going to stick around with me for the rest of the show because we're going to do a special segment. Next segment, it's the sports stock market segment where we tell you what stocks are up and what stocks are down in the world of sports. That's coming up after this on KansasNation.com and ESPN Kansas City.
Listen up, guys. Summer is coming, and there's no better time than right now to ignite your health and feel your best. Whether you're chasing peak performance, trying to reignite intimacy, or simply want to feel your best, Game Day Men's Health Lawrence is your calling. Situated in a plush man cave setting, their services for testosterone replacement therapy, ED, vitamin therapy, and weight loss are sure to give you the boost you need. Make an online appointment today by searching for Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. Step up your game in 2026 with Game Day.
Together, we're elevating our potential, our pride, our traditions, and our dreams. Together, we're opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
This is SSJ. Winter in Kansas City doesn't mean your lawn takes a break. It means smart homeowners get a head start. Let David and his crew from Custom Lawn and Landscape prepare your yard for a greener, healthier spring with winter fertilization, soil conditioning, and pre-emergent treatments that stop weeds before they start. Because when the snow melts, you don't want to start fixing your lawn. You want to already be winning. Trust Custom Lawn and Landscape, treating your yard now so it looks incredible later. Visit CustomLawn.com to schedule your winter services today.
Welcome back into Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com and ESPN Kansas City. Going to get into our sports stock market segment here with a special guest, Caden Letsche from the University Daily Kansas, Sports Illustrated, and a number of different other things that you've done. You're going to be published on KansasNation.com. You got a story you're writing on. First, I want to tell you about Jocelyn's Jewelry, locally owned for over 40 years. Gary Jocelyn and the entire Jocelyn family is proud to have earned the trust of 3 generations of customers. They believe that Jocelyn's customers come back again and again and refer their family and friends because they treat each customer with the respect and integrity that they deserve while offering the best in fine jewelry, all at a fair price. You would not believe how many customers come in that say they were quoted $400 to fix a ring, and it's under $200 at Jocelyn's to fix the exact same ring. They're the jewelry store that you want to go to because they're going to be honest and treat you fair. They have been the jeweler that you will recommend to your friends and family, and that is their reputation. So check out Jocelyn's Jewelry over in Kansas City. Sports stock market. Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, man.
You ready for this?
Man, I don't know if I can be ready.
I asked you if you had anything on here. You said no, you have some. You said you may have some play-in game stuff. I know Steph Curry, obviously, is showing that he's still Steph Curry.
Oh yeah,
so that's exciting. You're an NBA guy. Well, you're more so. So, in case you didn't know, Caden Letsche, by the way, is our TBT insider.
Oh, man, we're back. It's almost that time of year, Dan.
So Caden is on record saying that the TBT is the, quote, best time of year over Christmas, over March Madness, over Thanksgiving. There's so many different holidays. And you said that the TBT, I guess just TBT, because then that'd be the basketball tournament.
Yeah.
So you said TBT time is your favorite time of year.
I'm hoping that KU can get over the hump and get to the Elite 8.
Sure.
And then it'll be for sure, 100% the greatest time of the year in TBT. Okay. I love the TBT, man. I love
it's
TBT.
fun to see. It's fun to see the old players come back, and that's always great. But
I think it's just so underrated. Like these guys, because you get the March Madness aspect of college basketball. Then you get the summer where it's NBA and people are like, oh, they're not playing as hard, whatever. NHL is there too, college baseball. But then when there's nothing else that can support you beside like game 100 of the MLB season, the TBT is there for you.
Okay. It's there for you.
They play competitive, and it's the greatest time of the year. Except when you see former KU players play at K-State.
Are they going to keep the name JHX?
I don't know.
Is it Jayhawks or is it JHX?
Jayhawks.
So it's Jayhawks.
Because I think we had this conversation last year, and it was. I
liked Mastery was good, but like JHX, I mean, it makes sense, but also it's a little confusing.
Yeah, I mean, JHX. I want to know what their thought process. Why not just say Jayhawks?
Well, I think it might be trademarked. I think that's the issue.
Yeah, I guess.
So they went JHX instead, but they can call themselves Jayhawks. So makes sense. But we'll have you on maybe some other time to talk a little TBT. Obviously, we don't know the rosters or anything like that. But let's go ahead and get it started with the sports stock market. I want to start here. Stocks down on tailgating. Caden, I don't know if you had seen this. Obviously, the World Cup coming to the U.S., coming to Kansas City. FIFA announced on Tuesday that tailgating will be prohibited at several major U.S. venues during the 2026 World Cup this summer. Fans will not be allowed to gather for pregame tailgates outside of Arrowhead, Gillette Stadium, Lincoln Financial Field, and a bunch others. And they said at Gillette Stadium specifically, organizers outlined the rule in matchday checklist for Boston 2026 World Cup, stating that traditional tailgating, eating and drinking around parked cars, is not permitted for these events. I have a couple of things on this. Number one, how dare you? That is asinine. If you want Americans to get into soccer, you need to allow them an outlet to do their favorite pastime, which is tailgating. Now, the way that I understand this is that they want them to go to like the fan fests and pay for drinks, and they're going to have a bunch of different things in and around the stadium for fans to do. And so they want to funnel them there just so they can get more money. Not that FIFA needs more money, but just so they can get more money. So they're going to completely shut down tailgating all throughout the FIFA World Cup.
I should have dived more into the fan fest in Kansas City because I don't believe it could be in that parking lot, all right? Because that's just a wide open parking lot.
Well, yeah.
If it's downtown Kansas City, are they walking all the way?
Right, and that's the thing. It's like Arrowhead's not exactly in downtown KC. So if the fan fest is at Union Station, like that's you still got to hop on an Uber or something and take a 10-minute drive out to Arrowhead.
Can you imagine the sight, of? I don't even want to get into the numbers, but however many people just in that parking lot about to go watch a soccer game or football. Can you imagine, the thought of that many Americans ready to go watch, or I guess non-Americans too? That tailgate would be electric.
Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me? Like, you set a table and a tent and
buy a parking pass and go tailgate.
Well, yeah, right. Well, that's the thing, though. I think they're gonna have people walking around being like, "Hey, you can't set up chairs. Like, you're here to park."
That's it. In your hand?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
pour that thing out.
Pour it out. They're gonna have people walking around. So yeah, this is instead of tailgating. Organizers suggested fans attend the activities within the secure areas before and after a match, including a stadium fan experience that is exclusive to ticket holders.
Is tailgating big over?
See, that's the thing.
That's what
I don't think it is. I think it's more so and granted, I think it's also because of the fact that they don't have as many stadiums with parking lots, right? It's like in America,
they're in a neighborhood.
Well, that's the thing, right? Exactly, and it's America, you have the Wrigley Fields and Coors Field, Busch Stadium, and Soldier Field, like in the middle of Chicago, where fans they hop on the train outside of their house, and then all of a sudden, bam, they're there at the stadium. Tailgating's not big at Wrigley. It's not big at Busch Stadium, but it's big in Kansas City because you got a giant parking lot around you, right? I feel I think for some of the other stadiums kind of around the nation, they don't have those large parking lots. It's more so people use public transit to get there. So that's why I think, maybe you wouldn't have had as many people tailgating, but still, the Americans who again, if you're trying to market this towards Americans and say, hey, we want you guys to get more into soccer, because, I mean, let's be honest, soccer's not huge in America. It's big. Like, people like soccer, but it's the biggest sport in the world, and it's like, what, number 4 or 5 here in America, I would say?
TBT. No.
Right, yeah, TBT 1. Yeah.
It's one of the 4 major, but it's. I
mean, yeah, you got
hockey,
football, basketball.
football.
Yeah, football, baseball, basketball, and then, like,
hockey?
Hockey
and soccer.
You could say, like, hockey and soccer are probably, like, right there. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. If you want fans to get more into soccer, allow them to do what they usually do at a sporting event at the world's biggest sporting event. But again, it's all money grab, and it's unfortunate. It stinks. I hate it.
If they had a tailgate, or I guess if they took away the tailgate and they played some of the FIFA games at the Bills Stadium, I think there would be a lot more uproar.
If it was they're in like Buffalo or something. There'd be riots, there'd be pitchforks and torches. There'd be a whole disaster.
What a shame.
Hey, speaking of the U.S., stock is down on the U.S. because Pizza Hut. We were texting about this earlier.
Oh man,
Pizza Hut Canada announced that they had a new hot dog stuffed crust pizza. They said, no fooling around. We actually have this. This is a real thing. People are like, and they by the way, they posted this on April Fool's Day. I didn't see this until now. So
is it real?
Everyone thought that it was fake. Turns out it was real. And then Pizza Hut Canada had to come out with a statement. They said, we're sorry. Dear Americans, we read your tweets, we saw your DMs, we understand your confusion. We know you're still coming to terms with the painful understanding that the hot dog stuffed crust only lives north of the border. As our sincere condolences, we want to offer you a 50% off medium hot dog stuffed crust pizza in-store only, specifically one store only, Garrison Road, Fort Erie in Canada. So they have this at one store, 50% off for all Americans who want to cross the border.
I would.
And go get, road trip.
I would have to look up how far.
You're a big hot dog guy.
Hot dog guy.
Sure. A hot dog stuffed crust. I can't believe that this has never been thought of before.
I'm surprised no business has kind of like used that as leverage moving forward in the U.S. I'm surprised that's never been done.
Right? I mean, like,
it doesn't seem that crazy.
Do they have a patent on this? Because that's my thing. Like, if I'm Domino's and I see this, I go, well, okay, well, they're just doing it north of the border. Guess what? We're gonna start doing it here in America. If they don't have a patent on it,
then why? By next week in the sports stock market, you're going up on Domino's.
Absolutely, up on Domino's. I would literally get on Robinhood and buy stock in Domino's if they were to do something like this. Absolutely.
This is I was gonna say your generation's, but my generation's GameStop. When that stock went up.
I'm not that much older than you. Here's the thing. Caden keeps on making fun of me for being old. I am not old. I'm 27 years old. I'm not 35. Sean is actually 35. Sean is old as dirt. I am the young guy here, except for Elijah. Elijah is the youngest one here. Caden always comes in, and he's always like, oh, you're so old. You're Unk. He calls me Unk.
I am more a boomer.
How old are you? You're 22?
Yeah, 22. I'm getting old too.
I'm 5 years older.
If I'm old, then that means you're super old.
You're not old.
I'm old.
No, you're not even in your prime yet.
I wake up and I get out of bed and I have to like stretch to make sure I don't pull something.
Yeah, that's. I also have to do that. So maybe I am getting a little old. I did get called Unk the other day when I was playing basketball with some kids at Genesis. That was not.
It's all fun and games until your back goes out at a rec game.
It doesn't help that, like, when I was probably 22 years old, I saw a hot dog stuffed crust pizza. Like, I'd be all over that. I'd eat that in one sitting.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Now I'm like,
I'll eat a normal pizza in one sitting.
Well, yeah, I'll do that still. But now I'm just like, I just imagining the acid reflux and like, just, now it's a little different where I'm like, oh no, like that would really upset my tummy.
Yeah, I get that.
You know what I mean? Like if I was 22, I'd just house that thing, just shove it down my gullet. But now, just maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah.
But Pizza Hut, please.
My stomach is rumbling now. I hope you know that.
Right?
Like
because of the hot dog stuffed crust.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I would try it. I'll try anything twice. That's my motto.
You got to find out how far the drive is.
Case of the Mondays. My goodness. Stock is down on job interviews. So I don't know if you saw this. We don't have a picture of it, but former EMU defensive back Freddie McGee III. He went outside of the Lions practice facility, and he had his cleats over his shoulders, and he had a sign that said, "This is grit. No agent. 14 interceptions, 25 PBUs. Defensive Player of the Year in the Arena Football League. I need one shot." So he stood outside the Lions practice facility and essentially was begging them to give him a shot. I like this.
I saw the comments were pretty high on it. When I saw it, they were all for it.
Yeah, I mean, he's 5'8", so that's not great.
Okay, well,
but still, I mean, 14
No.
interceptions, that's pretty good. 25 pass breakups,
That's an arena league. Right?
Yeah, that's an arena league.
That's the one thing I saw the comments. I didn't dive too far into it, but I did see like you said, 5'8" arena league.
Yeah.
How old is he?
I mean, he's in his 20s, I would think. This doesn't say how old he is. That's probably a good thing for me to look up. I would imagine he's probably still relatively young, right? I mean, you would think. But the reason I say stock is down on job interviews is because, like, if you're ever looking for a job, just do this.
Oh yeah,
just stand outside like a FedEx.
Be like a boombox.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. No. Exactly. Just hold up a sign. Be like, I have a driver's license. Like, please hire me.
And I wonder if he chose Detroit because of like Dan Campbell's.
Oh, Dan. If anybody will bite on that, it's Dan Campbell.
Or if he's
for
from
sure.
that area, but.
Which that could be too.
That's a good idea.
But yeah, so he went out there at 8:45 a.m. and just was looking for a shot. This has happened before. Like, this isn't the first time that we've seen this. I've seen this a number of different times. I don't think it's ever worked.
I'm also seeing that like I saw a video posted about it, and I was like, did he go out there all by himself, or did somebody come get a video?
That's the thing.
And try to blow this
Drum it up. So you think this is a setup?
I don't know much about the guy. Don't know if
you think this is a grand conspiracy. I like where your head's at.
With the Lions, yeah, everything's a conspiracy.
Sure.
Yeah, Dan Campbell.
But yeah, again, like, if there is one guy who will bite on it, it's.
Oh, yeah.
That's a Dan
100%.
Campbell move to be like, I like this guy. He shows toughness. Let me get him in here. And
go out there until he's matched up on a 6'3" wide receiver. And
that's the thing. It's like arena football. Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't have walked back outside.
Yeah. Arena football quarterbacks and wide receivers are not exactly NFL guys. So there is
moral of the story, though. I do support it. That does take some grit, especially if he was out there by himself.
For sure. Hey, stock is up on being stranded. I don't know if you saw this. This is from April 12th. This hasn't been updated. I think that he's actually gotten home a couple more times since then. But I don't know if you saw this. So, Bobby Witt Jr.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Up until April 12th, he had reached base 30 times. And he was left on base, stranded, 29 times. 97% of the time that Bobby Witt Jr. got on base, he was left stranded. You're a Cardinals fan, and sorry for all the listeners.
No,
but this is
I try never to bring.
This is one of the most insane. Like the Royals and Sean has brought this up too. The Royals for my entire life, and I know for Sean's entire life, has never had a good offense. They've never been able to hit and runs. I mean, you look at what they did in 2015 when they won
that keep the bats moving. Or just keep the
it was but essentially just keep the bats moving. But also they had like the best bullpen in the history of baseball. They, Kelvin Herrera, Wade Davis, Greg Holland. I almost said Luke Hochevar, but that's not. HDH, man. Like, they had the best. Like, that's why essentially they won the World Series, is because every game would be like 3-2. They never had, and it's continuing. Bobby Witt Jr. is obviously a generational talent, but like, you got to get him home. You know what I mean? He's getting on base. Get on base 30 times. You left him stranded 29 times. What does that tell you about the back half of the? I mean, that's just just unbelievable.
I'd have to look into it at how many extra base hits he has too, because it can't be a lot. Because I noticed that was maybe a week ago.
He gets a lot of singles. Wednesday. Yeah, it was on April. Recorded April 12th. But like Salvi is batting like 140 something. Well, like Vinny's not good.
That 1 through 9 needs to figure out where it wants to go. Because you're just moving, like Vinny, Bobby, Garcia, those were most consistent last year. I mean, Salvi's getting old now. Salvi swinging it.
I know. That's the
I saw
thing.
something the other day. I was like, I wish I had somebody that loved me as much as Salvi loves a down and away slider.
Yeah.
And so, no, but Bobby's getting on base. That's for sure. He's a generational talent, but it's just gonna have to be who's gonna be after him that can get him home.
For sure. Yeah. I don't know. It sucks, and
oh gosh,
it's bad right now.
I went to most of the time when I go to a baseball game, I want to be there for the full 9 innings because I don't think it's as boring as people say it is. Like especially now with pitch clock.
Going to baseball games is way different than watching it on TV.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's way better.
And I went for the first time this season last Thursday to White Sox Royals. 2 runs in the 3rd inning for the White Sox.
Yeah.
Nobody else scored the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So that was certainly a choice.
Yeah. No, that's that's how it is, man. And it's also the White Sox too. You're like
the White Sox won.
I know. That's the thing. Before that, by the way, the Royals in the last 14 games against the White Sox, they were 14-0 at Kauffman against the White Sox.
Well,
and then White Sox are they're not as bad as they have been the last 2 years, but they're still a really bad team. You can't drop that, man. Hopefully the Royals can figure it out. Hey, last one here. Stock is up on getting your shoe size correct because I don't know if you saw this. Jackson Smith-Njigba, apparently when he was at Ohio State, he wore size 12 cleats and was consistently dealing with hamstring issues. Then apparently when he went to the Seahawks, they have body scanning technology to customize gear for each player. And they found out that Jackson Smith-Njigba actually is not a size 12. He's size 10.5. So they switched shoe sizes, and now he's Offensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl champion.
I read that like when you sent the link, and I saw was a size 12 or wore size 12, and now is 10.5. I'm like, how does that happen?
How do you not how do you not know
that shoe? I'm feeling a pretty big gap.
That's the thing. It's like there's a big difference between I wear an 11.5, and if I wear a size 12. There's a noticeable size difference. That's 11.5 to 12. That's a half a size difference. You're going 1.5 size difference. That's like that much room for your toe to slide around in. I don't know how of course you're gonna have some hamstring stuff because you're gonna be sliding forward and just gonna catch your hamstrings or whatever. But
I feel like personnel have been getting a pretty bad rep the last couple of weeks because I know there's this, and then it was the Mbappe news, right? Am I
Kylian Mbappe?
Yeah,
oh my gosh!
They said
they did the wrong.
They did his wrong knee.
That was that was not. We talked about that on the show. He had a minor tear in his knee, and so he went in for an MRI, and they're like, "Oh, there's nothing. You're fine." And they did an MRI on the wrong knee, and they sent him back out there for 3 games, and they tore it even worse. It's just
this is also on JSN too, because
that's the thing.
Not say anything. This is a 1.5 size difference,
right? And you can get. I mean, dude, just that's not it's so funny because they said they used body scanning technology. It's like. You can
just put a thumb,
right? Or
and press down.
That thing at Foot Locker where you put your foot down and then there's that's is that what they used? That's
they probably just pulled out a ruler or.
Yeah, I don't know.
They probably went back to Sean Kellerman's day of age where they had to just pull out. They had to measure in increments.
Yeah. This is 4 rocks. Yeah, that's what it was. What size shoe do you wear?
13s.
My goodness. Clown shoes over here. Anyway, that's all I got for sports stock market for today. Thanks to Caden Letsche for hopping in for Sean Kellerman. Hey, after this, we're going to do a little KU baseball chatter. Also want to get your thoughts on some KU basketball stuff as well. That's coming up after this on KansasNation.com and ESPN Kansas City.
Hey, Kansas fans. Coach Bill Self here, and you're watching KansasNation.com.
This is SSJ. Winter in Kansas City doesn't mean your lawn takes a break. It means smart homeowners get a head start. Let David and his crew from Custom Lawn and Landscape prepare your yard for a greener, healthier spring with winter fertilization, soil conditioning, and pre-emergent treatments that stop weeds before they start. Because when the snow melts, you don't want to start fixing your lawn. You want to already be winning. Trust Custom Lawn and Landscape, treating your yard now so it looks incredible later. Visit CustomLawn.com to schedule your winter services today.
Listen up, guys. Summer is coming, and there's no better time than right now to ignite your health and feel your best. Whether you're chasing peak performance, trying to reignite intimacy, or simply want to feel your best, Game Day Men's Health Lawrence is your calling. Situated in a plush man cave setting, their services for testosterone replacement therapy, ED, vitamin therapy, and weight loss are sure to give you the boost you need. Make an online appointment today by searching for Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. Step up your game in 2026 with Game Day.
APR plus $1,000 customer bonus, or get 0.9% APR on a 2026 Tiguan. Luxury just got a new definition.
Hi there, Gary Joslin with Joslin's Jewelry. I'm not the class ring company. I'm a mom and pop jewelry store for 42 years. We were recently voted the gold medal #1 jewelry store in the greater Kansas City area by Ingram's Magazine. Come see us at Joslin's Jewelry, 9529 Antioch. Joslin's Jewelry, the jeweler you'll recommend to your friends and family.
Joslin's Jewelry for the best that's yet to come.
Welcome back into Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com and ESPN Kansas City. Elijah Schmidt, mathematical director, technical director behind the cameras, always making sure that we get on air. Really appreciate him. Before we get into KU baseball chatter, maybe a little KU basketball chatter, I want to tell you about Central Bank. With Jayhawk checking from Central Bank, fans can carry their pride wherever they go with the official Jayhawk debit card, a simple way to show school spirit every day. Central Bank is proud to support the traditions and communities that bring people together. As the proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas, Central Bank is committed to serving Jayhawk fans with banking options designed for real life, on campus, at work, and everywhere in between. Learn more about Jayhawk Checking and the exclusive Jayhawk debit card at jayhawkchecking.com. That's jayhawkchecking.com. Central Bank, the proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas, member FDIC. And if you're ready to wave the wheat, as they like to say, with Central Bank. Caden, wanted to bring you on to talk a little KU baseball chatter. KU baseball, by the way, brought to you by Custom Lawn and Landscape. If you want a plush, healthy, thick green lawn for this upcoming summer, if you want your lawn to be the talk of the town, be sure to check out Custom Lawn and Landscape. Go to customlawn.com. I'm doing my own lawn right now. I just mowed, and it has just been an absolute nightmare, and I wish I would have called Custom Lawn and Landscape. But don't worry, because they are taking services right now. They're scheduling appointments right now, so check them out at customlawn.com. Letsche, KU baseball. They are traveling down to Oklahoma State. They're actually playing today. We're pre-recording the show. They had to move the game up, so they are playing as of right now. By the time of the recording, the game should be over by the time that this goes on air. But Kansas, right now, 11-game win streak, best winning streak that they've had since 1994. Really impressive stuff for the Jayhawks. What have you seen throughout the Jayhawks this year?
Well, 11-game win streak, 17-2, I believe, in the last 19. But I think, I don't know, this last couple years, or last 2 years, I should say, KU baseball has been on a steep incline. And the fact that currently right now that I saw a tweet yesterday from Jacob Webb, and it said that KU is projected to host a regional. Yeah. Like, I don't want to get too ahead, because you never know this back half of the season, but KU is playing good teams, and they are playing better than those good teams every time. They just won against Wichita on Tuesday. I think it was 5-2.
Yeah, 5-2 was the final score against Wichita State.
Yeah, but I think these last 2 years, there's always been at least one game where KU has kind of been like, okay, they're middle of the pack. Oh, wait, they just won that game, or they just did something incredible. And I think that for this year, it was the Utah game. I can't remember. I think it was 2 weeks ago today, maybe 3 weeks ago today. They played Utah, and they were down 12-9 going into the bottom of the ninth, and they won.
Yeah.
And since then, it's been like, all right, KU's legit. And then going into the UCF series.
I think it was the Utah series where they had like the four home runs.
Yeah. And going into the UCF series, there was a big question of, okay, now it's is KU legit? All right, they've gotten their wins. I think it would have been 7 at the time, 7 in a row. They're fighting on the verge of being ranked because this was also after beating Nebraska on the road, and I don't know. They swept UCF. They're starting to really, really make a name for themselves. Bodie Ray is this I don't know. I'm trying to think of a closer to compare him to.
Yeah,
but he is on fire recently.
Wade Davis.
Oh yeah, and then Tyson LeBlanc is, I don't know, the greatest baseball player of all time. I had 2 home runs in one game on Tuesday. It'll be interesting to see what he does in Stillwater.
Well, talk about a guy who had not super high expectations coming in either. Like, we just thought he was going to be another nice addition. Maybe, you know, he'll be fine. He'll be serviceable in the infield. Might get some hits here and there. And then he has turned into what we thought Brady Ballinger should have been this year.
Yes, I think once again that Utah series where he was homering and he had the walk off.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brian Haney because we were watching the broadcast in the wheel that Friday night, and they were down 12-9.
How much watching were you actually doing?
We were.
Okay.
And it was funny because there was like 5 people there at the time when it was 12-9 going into the bottom of the 9th. And then they hit a home run. They hit another one. Okay, it's 12-11. Now the bartenders, they grab the remote, they turn it up. Now there's like a stream of people.
Was it Nobby?
No, it was not. But there was a bunch of people then walking in. So it's like, okay, everyone loves KU baseball. They got to come into the wheel. That's what I was thinking. They turn it up. So now we're hearing Brian Haney broadcast it on ESPN Plus. And then before you know it, Tyson LeBlanc comes up to the plate. And Brian Haney specifically, for about a minute straight, was telling us exactly how to pronounce his name.
LeBlanc.
Yeah. Because everyone was LeBlanc.
Yeah, well, he's got that like Cajun accent, so I don't know if he just doesn't say it or if that's what it's actually pronounced or whatever. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I can't remember, but he was qualified to play for a World Baseball Classic team.
Oh wow!
And I think it was Croatia, and you would never have guessed that.
Weird.
I know. Shout out to the UDK because that was just a random question one day. Someone was like, "Hey, did you guys know this?" So
that's. Shout out to UDK.
Yeah.
Shout out to your.
Make sure to fact check.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
KU baseball has been great. I mean, you know, when you look after the Sac State loss, where they lost 4-7 against Sac State, you go, oh man, another disappointing year. And then all of a sudden they lose the first one 0-5 against Cincinnati, and then they've just been on an absolute tear since then. They take the series against Cincinnati 8-2, then 13-6. Cincinnati was ranked at the time. Then they wiped the floor with Mizzou. They swept Utah. They beat 19 Nebraska. Then you go in, they beat UCF, Wichita State, and they're on a heater right now. Oklahoma State, they're sort of in the middle of the pack in terms of everything, right? When you look at batting stats, conference only, they're 10th in the Big 12, but they have one guy, Colin, which that's going to bother me. Colin, let me pull it up real fast. His name is Colin Ritchie. Yeah, that's right. Colin Ritchie. He has 21 home runs on the season, which is just unbelievable. They have like one guy who just smashes it out of the park every single time he's up. Other than that, they're not a great batting team. And then in terms of pitching, Oklahoma State, they're 7th in the Big 12, right? But fielding, they're really good. So if Kansas is able to get on base, right, and if they're able to hit those gaps and just, you know, get singles, doubles, whatever it may be, and then hopefully get the pitcher on their heels, I think Kansas should be okay. You got to take 2 out of 3 in this upcoming series against Oklahoma State. Caden, while I have you, wanted to switch over to KU basketball. As you know, you are a fan. We had Shreyas Laddha on, who is, you know, a unbiased journalist. So he said it's crazy, and exactly. And I'm also a very, very biased journalist. If you can call me a journalist, I guess, if you want. But essentially, I'm a Kansas fan with a radio talk show. I want your thoughts. I'll save this. I want your thoughts on Flory first, because Flory Bidunga, last year, if you remember, entered the transfer portal with intentions to stay at Kansas, but he was kind of shopping around, looking at different places, you know, seeing different figures, different kinds of things like that. He comes back to Kansas, has a fine year, you know, defensive player of the year in the Big 12. Like, it's really good. Maybe not as much offensive productivity as you wanted him, maybe a little inconsistent on that front of it. But now he enters the transfer portal again and then just gets an absolute bag from Louisville.
And I think if you are a diehard fan, you're saying, what the heck, Flory? Why did you leave us? And but I think a lot of people are also like, dude, we don't know if you're going to be a draft like talent in these next years, or if you're going to be a guy that can stay in the NBA. You want to go get a bag in college at Louisville? I mean, good on him. I mean, it sucks because I think he had the talent to be the number one guy on KU for a while, but no, I don't hate him as much as the other guy that I'm sure you'll say his name, but I think a lot of people are going to be, he shall not be named.
Sure. And the thing with Flory is just like, Sean had brought this up. He's like, what do you think like Cole Aldrich or Marcus Morris or Thomas Robinson would think about Flory leaving, right? It's like Kansas has a known track record for developing bigs into being dominant big men, and you're on pace for that, and you decide to pack your bags and head over to Louisville. Like, you'll never be welcomed back in Lawrence again.
It'll be interesting, that exhibition game in Lawrence. The fact that both Bryson and Flory will be in this area.
Yeah.
Like, no, the schedule people knew something.
Right. Yeah. No. Right. Exactly.
It's insane that dude will be in Allen Fieldhouse, who will be wearing a different jersey, and it'll be.
So I almost think that he'll be met with more boos just because it'll be in Allen Fieldhouse as opposed to T-Mobile Center. But again, who knows? You did bring up Bryson though. Your initial like off the cuff reaction that you had, FCC, make it FCC censored, I guess, but your initial off the cuff reaction when you heard that Bryson Tiller was going to Mizzou.
I had a 4-letter word for you, Dan.
Yeah.
Soft.
Yeah.
I think, oh my gosh. I saw some tweet that they were asking Bryson about, or it was Dennis Gates or something, and they were like, oh, why'd you pick Mizzou? And he's like, oh, they have a track record of being great. Like, they have a great program. I'm like, okay, 0 Final Fours, that'll do it for you.
Right.
And then on the opposite side of it, they're like, Bryson has shown to be.
I have the quote. I think I had the quote that you were looking at. It said, I chose Mizzou because of the coaching, because of the basketball program that they have. He chose Mizzou because of the basketball program that they have. Which is
no one ever
a loser. I mean, they're losers. Like, what else do you want me to? They've never been to a Final Four.
I just, like you said, Bill, and also, what does it say about KU too that they had? I mean, it probably says more about Bryson, but the fact that this could have been a big man that could have used these 4 years or 3 years or however long and grew to be a draft talent, but to go to Mizzou. Bottom program in basketball, get straight. But it's just crazy to me. Like, why Mizzou? Why transfer in general?
Well, and that's the thing. Maybe he just and that's the thing. Like, they don't. A lot of these kids don't get it. Right? It's like, go and take a trip to the Watkins Museum here on Mass Street and check out that first floor that they have. You'll understand why Kansas and Missouri hate each other so much. They have a whole exhibition about William Quantrill's raid on Lawrence, about bleeding Kansas, about the start of the Civil War that essentially happened here. Like, this thing goes back deeper, but no, these kids, they don't get it. And also, it doesn't help that the fact that Mizzou is also in the SEC, and they have been forever, and it feels like people started to forget about how great of a rivalry that was. And I think Kansas fans still understand it, but the players don't. The players just absolutely don't get it whatsoever.
There's a quote from Dennis Gates that I wish I could think of off the top of my head, but it was something around the words of Bryson has proven to be a contributor at the top level in the clutchest moments.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Down the stretch. And they said Bryson dropped 27 points in his last 7 games.
Yep.
27 combined.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. He was minus.
Got benched for being not physical enough.
Yeah.
And not. I don't think there was a certain thing. Also,
in the plus minus in the NCAA tournament, he was minus 37 when he was on the court.
The last time I was on this show was the Zoom call, and I said, oh, Bryson saw one go through. I can't remember which game it was, but he saw one go through, and I was like, oh yeah, now he's gonna go through a heat stretch. But Bryson Tiller at home could be a great player. Bryson Tiller not in Allen Fieldhouse. Bryson Tiller is an Allen Fieldhouse merchant, so he doesn't get to play there next year.
Is Jamari McDowell, but also no ill will towards Jamari McDowell. By the way, shout out to him going to Wake Forest. Good for him for finding the spot. They were high on him in back in high school. Wanted to ask you about another guy that Kansas got, Keanu Dawes. This is their first and only, as of right now, transfer portal edition. Keanu Dawes, obviously coming from Utah, had 22 and 8, I believe, against Kansas. In the biggest games, he showed up, right? Against Arizona, he was really good. Against Houston, he was really good. Against Cincinnati down the stretch, he was really good. Like he really was kind of the do-it-all guy, and they had him play in the 5 a little bit. My way that I'm envisioning Keanu Dawes coming into this role is essentially going to be the replacement for Bryson Tiller. To me, he plays like a stretch 4. He can shoot threes, and to me, whenever Utah came in to Allen Fieldhouse, he was the best big out there. Your thoughts on Keanu Dawes?
Well, once again, another tweet that I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was something about comparing him to Bryson, and obviously Dawes is his own guy. Dawes will bring a completely different attributes than Tiller, but when you compare the two, there is not one thing that Bryson would have beat out Dawes with. Physicality is going to be great. Post scoring, that's something I feel like we haven't seen a lot. I mean, Flory gets a post up and a layup. That's different than just a straight up post up on the elbow and just working your guy. That'll be something Dawes will bring too. But he's been known. We know what we're going to get out of him, and he has been a known contributor that I think a lot of fans are going to like that pickup.
I certainly like it as of right now. And look, there's a lot of other guys, and at this point, like, Kansas fans shouldn't panic, right? I understand that they feel like they should panic because there's a lot.
That's what it feels like.
Right.
Very close.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing is, like, you've had a lot of guys come on campus. There's a lot of big names who have been tied to Kansas. Like, Kansas is going to get their guys. Like, I don't think it's anything to worry about. Caden, I really appreciate you coming on, man. Tell the people, do you got anything, any big articles you're working on? Anything you got coming up with the UDK?
I got an article that'll be posted on Kansas Nation about the women's team and the transfer portal and how expectations are a lot higher and how maybe a WBIT semifinal is not going to cut it anymore.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
You certainly hope so. One more thing before I let you go, because I know you did a little bit of Chiefs stuff for Sports Illustrated. Are you looking at Ruben? Okay, I'm not even going to say names. Pass rusher or wide receiver at number 9?
Edge rusher, 100%.
Edge rusher.
No doubt in my mind. I think.
Do you jump the Saints if they go for Ruben Bain?
There was a recent mock draft on CBS where the Chiefs could possibly move up to 3 with the Cardinals.
Oh, God. You get David Bailey?
Get David Bailey.
Oof, I'd be okay with that.
There's been a lot of talks about the Chiefs trying to trade up. Obviously, they got to figure out what works for them and what doesn't. But I think that first 2 picks in the first round are going to be edge rusher and cornerback, because as of right now, the Chiefs are going to put you and me out there in the secondary.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
That's the thing that nobody's talking about either. Is that
the Ruben Bain arm length is a big factor, but I mean, he dominated. He is a dominator.
Oh yeah.
He will come in, and the Chiefs in the last couple of years, I mentioned a couple times in my articles, is they were near the bottom of the league in pass rush and QB pressures and sacks. So, yeah, edge rusher is a major thing that they're going to need to look at.
Yeah. I mean, that's what everybody continues to say. Again, if you get David Bailey, you jump up to 3, that would be incredible. But, yeah, that's something that not a lot of people are talking about, is the fact that you did lose Jalen Watson and Trent McDuffie this year, and it's like you don't have any corners. Like, everyone – I've seen a lot of mock drafts that have Jordan Tyson at wide receiver, and it's like I get it. Like, you do need pass catchers, but also, like, you have you have literally nobody in the secondary. So.
I think what's crazy is I've probably wrote an article for 10 different people that I thought the Chiefs could take at 9, and that's very confusing, and it'll be interesting to see who they take on draft night. 5 days.
All right, 5 days, man. 5 days. Caden Letsche from the UDK. Appreciate you coming on the show, man, and sitting in for Sean. All right. Hey, after this, going to hear from KU Buffalo transfer wide receiver Nik McMillan and also Terrance Samuel, the Kansas wide receivers coach, right here on KansasNation.com and ESPN Kansas City.
Hello, it's Mark Whitlow from Office Products Alliance. OPA is not just your local office products connection. We have expanded our offerings to network cabling installation, security cameras, door access, and IT services. We all need to keep pace with new technologies. You can trust a Kansas City company that has been your partner for 32 years. Check us out at opakc.com. Supporting local businesses and our community is more important than ever.
0% APR plus $1,000 customer bonus, or get 0.9% APR on a 2026 Tiguan. Luxury just got a new definition.
Haney and the Hawks is presented by Jefferson's with 2 Lawrence locations. Home of the best wings in town, 21 signature sauces. You got to check them out. But if wings aren't your thing, how about a burger? They hand patty their certified Angus beef every single day. Also hand bread their tenders. They make their ranch in-house. There is truly something for everybody at Jefferson's. Go see my buddy Brandon Graham and the entire crew at Jefferson's, either on Mass or Wakarusa in Lawrence, Kansas.
Hi there, Gary Joslin with Joslin's Jewelry. I'm not the class ring company. I'm a mom and pop jewelry store for 42 years. We were recently voted the gold medal #1 jewelry store in the greater Kansas City area by Ingram's Magazine. Come see us at Joslin's Jewelry, 9529 Antioch. Joslin's Jewelry, the jeweler you'll recommend to your friends and family.
Joslin's Jewelry for the best that's yet to come.
This is SSJ. Winter in Kansas City doesn't mean your lawn takes a break. It means smart homeowners get a head start. Let David and his crew from Custom Lawn and Landscape prepare your yard for a greener, healthier spring with winter fertilization, soil conditioning, and pre-emergent treatments that stop weeds before they start. Because when the snow melts, you don't want to start fixing your lawn. You want to already be winning. Trust Custom Lawn and Landscape, treating your yard now so it looks incredible later. Visit CustomLawn.com to schedule your winter services today.
Welcome back into Rock Chalk Sports here on KansasNation.com and ESPN Kansas City. We're going to get to some wide receiver talk as well as hear from Coach Terrance Samuel. But first, I want to tell you about Game Day Men's Health here in Lawrence. They're going to get you back in the game. 50% of men by the age of 40 deal with erectile dysfunction at some point in their life, or have low testosterone at some point in their life, and 60% of men of all time deal with erectile dysfunction at some point in their life. If you feel like that's you, if you feel like you don't have the energy to go to the gym, go to work, spend time with your family, I urge you to go check out Game Day Men's Health here in Lawrence. The first visit, 100% complimentary. It's totally free. All you got to do is go in there. It's a 3-step process. They take your blood and check everything going on with you. If everything's good, great. That's awesome. You can just leave and not have to worry about anything. But if there is something maybe a little off, they're going to do everything that they can to get you back in the game. And it's not just that. They have vitamin B12 booster shots. They have peptides. They have IV drips. Anything to get you back and get you healthy, to get you back in the game. And there's no white coat phobia whatsoever. It is a plush, man cave-like setting to make sure that you are the most comfortable when you're getting healthy. So check them out, Game Day Men's Health here in Lawrence. Hey, we heard from Kansas wide receiver and Buffalo transfer Nik McMillan the other day. Expected a lot of big things out of him in the wide receiver room for the Kansas football program. Let's hear from him right now.
Well, how's your spring been so far?
It's been pretty good. Just meshing with everybody, picking up the playbook, and just coming together with the whole offense as a whole.
What's the process like of adjusting to a new offense? How much is it learning the playbook, learning the guys you're on the team with?
I feel like learning every playbook is a little challenging, but I feel like once you get the gist of it, and the base of the offense, then everything else just kind of come easy.
Was this staff? Did they recruit you to Buffalo?
Yeah, they recruited me my sophomore year, so I talked to them a little bit, and then they ended up leaving, coming here, so I lost contact with them. But in the portal, they hit me up.
How much did those connections help, I guess, in terms of bringing you here?
It helped a lot because it was kind of like I knew who they was already. It just I ain't talked to them in a while, but it was like it was familiar faces, familiar people I talked to, so it was kind of an easy process in the portal.
Did you have any preconceived notions of Kansas football before you came?
Nah, not really. When I hit the portal, they was like one of the first schools to text me. Like I said, it was kind of a no-brainer though. Like this is the first school I came to in the portal, and when I came, it was the same type of love they gave me when I was at Buffalo.
What made such a good choice for you?
Just how I seen myself fit in the offense, relationships I had with the head coach, with Coach Samuel. Like I said, I knew pretty much half the staff before I even came up here, so it kind of was just an easy choice for me.
How would you describe your play style and how it can fit into this offense?
Kind of just a bigger body receiver. I can play the slot, I can play outside, play wherever I need to be put at, and I'll just make plays, get open.
It's been like getting to know the rest of the wide receiver room. A lot of guys in it.
Yeah, it's been fun though. It's definitely been fun. Just different personalities, meeting people from different backgrounds. The first time I've been on this side of the states, I guess you could say. So meeting people from Kansas and California and all that. So it's been fun just meeting with everybody.
Did anything surprise you about Kansas? Maybe that you weren't expecting. Just maybe the town of Lawrence or KU, anything like that.
Yeah, pretty much it's like how everybody ride for Kansas up here. Buffalo is kind of like, it's a town, but it's a lot of things going on though. Up here, it's kind of like Kansas is like the big thing. So going into Walmart and seeing a whole bunch of Kansas stuff, and restaurants and seeing a whole bunch of Kansas gear and Kansas flags on the wall and all that. That was kind of something cool to see coming up here.
All the new facilities and the new stadium and stuff. How much of a selling point was that for you, and what's it like seeing that go up?
Definitely was a good selling point. Come from Buffalo, obviously it was good too, but here just a little different, a little more money. So all that type of stuff was cool to see, and the food and just the weight room, locker room, all that type of stuff was good.
In terms of the way the offense is kind of run, how do you see yourself fitting in? I mean, do you think you're a good fit for the style of offense that Coach Kotelnicki kind of wants to run?
Yeah, for sure. I like to say, our offense is kind of like an NFL style offense, which is something that I plan on being. I plan on going to the NFL after this. So getting adjusted to it now would just make it easier for when the next step comes.
What are some of the things you want to work on to get to the NFL?
Just continue to be an overall good player. Should work on my blocking, routes, getting bigger. Just become a better football player as a whole.
What's been your perspective on the quarterback battle and all the different guys getting reps there?
They all look good to me, to be honest. I can't really say I like one over the other. They all get in, they all make plays. Everybody got their day off days, but it's part of football.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
That was Kansas wide receiver Nik McMillan addressing the media. Hopefully he has a big year coming up for the Jayhawks. I'm looking at him as my number one guy right now. Him and Najee Cox are really going to be the primary pass catchers. Obviously, you have Cam Pickett, who's going to be coming back. Keaton Quebeca, I think, is primed to have a big step forward for the Jayhawks. But Nik McMillan showed some really nice things on tape last year for the Buffalo Bulls. The Buffalo Bulls, that's right. Hey, also got to hear from Kansas wide receiver coach Terrance Samuel. He was made available to the media yesterday. Let's hear from Coach Samuel.
Well, always good and bad. It's right at this time of the year, it's technique, operate the offense. So we got to get to where we're doing that a little bit more consistent. I think we're making some plays, not making enough, but good start. Still a long ways to go.
Bringing in Nik and Najee, why were those guys good targets for you, and how have they been this spring?
Well, when you start with Najee, when you look at that size, he brings size. The 50-50 ball, he's aggressive. He has some of the skill sets what LJ had, and that fits in our offense. We need a guy that has some size, that can, be physical, and he's that guy. So we're looking forward to continue to develop him. He's still young, still raw, but he's so eager to learn. So that's where I'm really excited about him. Nik is just, one of those guys that just keeps on coming. He fits what I would call the baller type. He's not going to be a speed guy. He's not going to be a monster type, but he's going to be that guy, that point guard type that can get open, find zones, be savvy. He has the ability to be savvy and make sure he gets himself open. And like I said, he's still developing. So all of these guys, they all have great skill set, but they all need to be developed too. So, one thing that I'm really, really, really proud of is the fact that they came in with a great attitude. We got some guys with good attitudes. So we're moving forward with our offense.
What surprised you most? Obviously, you've seen Isaiah on film, recruit him. What has surprised you most now getting to work with him in practice?
Oh, well, like I just said before, the personality, the person, he's a yes sir, no sir. He's a no nonsense. He wants to be coach. He's asking all the questions. I may get a text at 1 a.m, with a question. And because I'm old, I'm probably up and I'll respond. So we have that type of relationship. So I feel good knowing that he wants to get better, wants to get coached, and he can take AK going at him a little bit. So he'll fit in here.
The past offseason before this one, you guys brought in a whole slew of receivers from the portal. past offseason, but what did you learn from bringing in 4 guys the previous year that maybe informed the way you went through the portal this time around?
Well, I think, I mean, you're always a breath of fresh air when you don't have to bring in so many, and, you're trying to, give guys a little bit more of the individualized attention, So here, with having older guys, Caden, Cam, guys that have been here, they're helping coach. They're leading, and they're helping getting guys ready. I think we were able to get these guys, the Najees and Nik, get them squared away a little bit faster because, the room is a little bit more squared away and they know things. Everybody in that room, those guys we brought in last year, I had to bring them from zero. So this year it's a little bit easier, and I think me and Coach Copeland a little bit better in sync at trying to get guys squared away too, and knowing how to maximize our skill sets and utilizing them.
What are your expectations for Cam this coming season for last year?
The sky's the limit for that guy. I mean, he's one of those guys. He knows what to do. He knows every position. We can ask him to go in and fix things and put him in position to get more balls, or go against a linebacker or a DB that's we feel like is a little bit lagging. So he should be in position to make more plays this year. Like I said, we just got to make sure we keep him healthy. He's understanding that the part about being professional is taking care of your body. So I think he's really done a really good job of taking care of his body, and and like I said, we'll see the plays start to happen on Saturday.
You guys had a good group of true freshmen last year.
Yeah.
Who's taken the biggest steps?
I think, at times, all 3 of them, there's times where Nate shows, the ability to understanding the routes and maximizing his quickness. Corbin is just a flat out blur. Once he learns how to harness, making people miss in the phone booth, he's kind of take Nagy-ish. And like I said, Tyron's he should be the 50-50 guy, big, strong, the guys put a little bit more weight on him, but, he's growing. And like I said, all 3 of those kids, they want to learn. I do have a lot of guys in that room that want to learn. They come to coaches. They go to Coach Cope. They come to me. And all I'm saying is find somebody to talk to. If you got a question, if you don't like me, you better go to Coach Cope. If you don't like Coach Cope, you better go to Cam. You don't like Cam, go to Keaton. We got guys in our room that I think do a really good job of making sure all the guys are getting the right information and going out to practice and doing what we need to do.
From last year's group, that was an even larger group of freshmen.
Yeah.
How have they benefited from a year in the program?
Well, like I said, from the Tate to the B. Hayes, those guys are just really coming. Now they're at that point to where it's not the offense, it's about making plays. So, anytime you can get these guys to stop just processing our pre-snap motions and shifts and now running the routes and finding the soft spots or the best window, all right, they start to become a little bit more efficient and their skill set starts to come into play. You start to see how good these guys really are athletically.
With 2 quarterbacks presumably at the forefront, do you think it's harder maybe to develop that chemistry? Do they need to do a little bit extra work, not knowing who that primary pass thrower is going to be?
Extra work is a part of the routine, So getting with the quarterbacks and getting that chemistry away from us, that's a part of the routine. That's what they have to do. So we don't give guys excuses for chemistry or timing or rhythm. When it's time to get out on the field and the ball is in the air, we better be where we need to be, and we better be on the same page with the quarterback. So I'm not going to give them an out in that regard.
I know it's not your position group, but having seen Corey grow up, what's it like finally having him here on campus?
Well, and that's special for me because anytime, you can grow up, me grow up, him grow up, and I'm watching him, getting out of those diapers almost and starting him growing up with my son and knowing how close they were, how close our families were. It's a special feeling. It's a family member, so I don't minimize, that I look and I check where he is and what he's doing most of the day. And if he's on the football field, and trust me, and I can get after him too. So it's one of those where, I can make that phone call. So, and I know Karen and Opu would be happy if I'm making sure that I'm on him just as much as they would be.
What's it like having Andy back?
Oh, well, like I said, practice is going to be spirited. We're going to get it going. And everybody's going to get in the right place and do the right thing. So, like I said, you always love and appreciate, the detailed, pushing the envelope and getting guys in the right place. And like I said, what I didn't see, he sees and he coaches. So it's not like, he'll wait. Andy's going to get into it, mix it up. And like I said, he's great at setting the tone with that in that regard.
Yeah,
else for Coach Samuel? All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
That was Kansas wide receiver coach Terrance Samuel addressing the media yesterday. Big shout out to Elijah Schmidt running the cameras and operations here at Kansas Nation. We will see you guys on Monday. That's going to do it here for Rock Chalk Sports on Kansas Nation. Like I said, for Elijah Schmidt and for Caden Letsche joining me for today. I've been Daniel Courtwright saying thanks for watching KansasNation.com and ESPN Kansas City.
Listen up, guys. Summer is coming, and there's no better time than right now to ignite your health and feel your best. Whether you're chasing peak performance, trying to reignite intimacy, or simply want to feel your best, Game Day Men's Health Lawrence is your calling. Situated in a plush man cave setting, their services for testosterone replacement therapy, ED, vitamin therapy, and weight loss are sure to give you the boost you need. Make an online appointment today by searching for Game Day Men's Health Lawrence. Step up your game in 2026 with Game Day.
Together, we're elevating our potential, our pride, our traditions, and our dreams. Together, we're opening up a whole new world of possibilities. Elevate your University of Kansas experience with Jayhawk checking from Central Bank. Central Bank and KU, elevating together.
Jayhawk fans, if you haven't started to follow Kansas Nation on social, now is the time. Facebook, Instagram, X, it's Kansas Nation, and online at kansasnation.com for the latest news and information on your Kansas Jayhawks. Interviews, news conferences, daily and weekly shows, podcasts. Find it all at Kansas Nation